What is going on, everyone? This is Andrew O'Connell with Pristine Capital coming at you with yet another market recap video. I'm also Director of Research at LaDuc Trading. It is January 29th, 2021. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this content, and I will continue to make it for you. Today we're going to be talking about the price action in the indices. We'll talk about the crazy volatility. We'll go under the hood and check out our sectors and style factors, the trades I took, and then we'll wrap up with some options order flow. But before we jump in, quick risk disclaimer. Nothing in this video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading plan and your own risk parameters. And last but not least, do not YOLO your entire account to any one of my trades. All right, so let's jump right in today. We had the S&P 500 down 2% today. We had the NASDAQ QQQ down 2.1%. We have the IWM small caps down 1.51%, and we had the Dow Jones down 2.05%. So if we take a look at our ES daily chart, this is, what we're looking at. We got these two big red candles right here, and you can see that at this point we have broken down below the 20-day simple moving average. We're also below the 5-day exponential moving average. And also, we jumped into the monthly value area. And you can see we're still above that point of control. But we really have been respecting that monthly value area since the first day of trading for this month. So you can see right here, our first day of trading in January, January 4th, was very volatile. And you can see we jumped throughout almost the entire monthly value area in one fell swoop. But we ended up recovering to this 20-day simple moving average. That certainly did not happen in today's price action. And you can see, pretty weak close. We didn't close exactly on the lows, but the market has not been respecting any of these key support levels. So if we take a look at this hourly chart, we can see what happened here. And we're getting, a lot of different fits and starts throughout the trading day. But it ends in, just more selling. So you can see here, very choppy action. So you see here, we plunged below this weekly value area. And we sort of have, it looked like a double bottoming action here. This was yesterday, we jumped back into that weekly value area. And then you can see we sort of, just fell even lower. So I'll be watching, we have this low here at maybe 36.87. I will also be watching, we're going to have a new monthly value area for next month. You can see that monthly value area is this shaded region right here. So we're going to be opening up the month below value. And you can see the value area low for this next month. It's going to be around 37.30. So I'll be watching to see if we can reclaim that level, or else we are just going to continue downtrending here. You can see the sell-off is occurring on high volume, so it is definitely to be respected. And a lot of what's going on, I think this is related to this whole GameStop issue, where a lot of these hedge fund guys were short GameStop. They are getting squeezed and they are not giving up those shorts. And I think they're being forced to liquidate a lot of their long book, and it is causing a lot of stress throughout the market. So we're getting a pretty violent sell-off. And then not to mention, sentiment going into this was really hot. So it just adds some additional fuel to the fire. The Qs you can see also below the 20-day simple moving average and the 5-day EMA, but we're holding above the monthly value area. And if we open right here, we're going to be opening within value for next month. And IWM, which has been the strongest today. And at one point it was green. It was almost up by 1%. But you can see IWM as well is breaking, broke through that 20-day simple moving average. And we've respected the 20-day since the first day of trading here. So you can see the first day of trading we closed below. Then the following day we bounced right back up into it. That's what I'll be looking for on Monday to see if we get any sort of bounce. If we do not, this market is looking more and more sick by the day. So we're going to have to see what the river brings on that. Let's see the Dow Jones. Dow Jones, you can see, fell into the monthly value area, actually sliced, slightly below it and closed within it. So yeah, this is a complete technical breakdown. And let's pull up the VIX here. You can see the VIX is extremely elevated. And if we take a look. So look at these candles the VIX is putting in. So we closed higher on the VIX, up 9.53% today. You can see 2 trading days ago, we closed literally on the highs for the VIX. We closed it around like a 37 handle. Yesterday, put in an inside day. Today, we flushed all the way up to this 37.5 level. And you can see this is getting, right in line with, prior to the election, the levels of volatility that we hit. So with the election, it was like, this huge event everyone was worried about. We don't know the future of American policy, and like there's a lot of question marks about that. It is shocking to me that a single name like GameStop can catalyze such a large decline in the indices and spike in volatility. To me, is definitely not confidence inspiring. We'll have to see what happens. You can see here, we did have some VIX spikes, during coronavirus that were pretty bad. And this is sort of on par with that. But I mean, if we start reaching even higher and higher on the VIX, at some point it's going to be like, wow, the only thing comparable is the drop from coronavirus. So very interesting dynamics going on here. We're going to have to see what happens. And I'm starting to think like I could be totally off on this, but it seems like the stronger the price action gets in GME, the weaker the market is getting. So it's, really strange what's going on here. And I guess since GME is causing a lot of this, we may as well pull up the GME chart with these broad market indices. You can see GME, it's been having red candles, but you can see GME closed, nowhere near the lows. There were dip buyers coming in. One thing that's kind of I just noticed about it is the volume is coming off a little bit, maybe just because of some of these restrictions being put on people in terms of trading GME. I'm actually also curious, now we have a whole weekend ahead of us. There's probably going to be so many phone calls being made behind the scenes this weekend in terms of like these brokerage houses, the clearing firms, GME investor relations about potentially doing an equity offering, like all these different things. I have no idea what's going to happen, but we'll see what Monday brings. It's going to be really interesting. And then in terms of our sectors and style factors, pretty much, a huge washout other than GME. You can see all of what I call the premier assets are getting crushed. So we have like solar stocks down 3.11%. We have, we have technology down 2.36%. We've got pretty much all the ARK funds are down. Really the only bright spots, we had biotech, which is up 0.82%. We had medical devices up slightly as well. And then XRT, which has GameStop in it. So yeah, really nowhere to hide in this market at the current time. It just seems like, some deleveraging is occurring. And then you can see, the worst performing style factors today were international value, international momentum. Really everything was bad. Yeah, high beta was actually the worst. Yeah, let me talk about which ones were best, because there's a big disparity here. So Minvol was only down 1.34%, and high div low vol only down 1.32%. In terms of trades, I did not trade anything today. I sat completely still, and I was just watching the price action for the most part. There were some assets that sort of popped up as, showing some relative strength. I thought, are pretty interesting to just go through here. Yeah, Yala Group here you can see is, performing really well. You can see it's above all the key moving averages, it's even above the 5-day EMA. This thing looks like it wants to move higher. This is a a social media platform in the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, and it's a voice-centric platform. And yeah, they have like 45% net margins. Really nice user growth. They're looking really strong. So Yalla Group, definitely if the market starts to behave a little bit better, I will probably add to a position here. FLGT. This one up about 20%. It's a name that I traded a couple weeks ago just for a scalp. But yeah, this one is looking like a super performer. You can see completely bucking the trend of all this market weakness, and close up over 20%, pretty extended at this point. You're looking really strong. And then CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike is also looking very strong here. Not quite as good as the other two, I would say. But yeah, in terms of like a more like mega cap name, more like established holding here, you can see that CrowdStrike reclaimed that 5-day EMA. It's getting very close to the 20-day as well. So I'm curious to see if CrowdStrike can reclaim those short-term moving averages and continue to move higher. So we'll see. And that about does it. Those are just some assets that I'm watching. I pretty much just sat on my hands for the trading day today, and I was just watching the futures. And let's see. I'll pull up some options order flow for everyone. And I'm going to pull up these larger orders. I'm going to take a look at a few other things as well. Oh my gosh, people coming in. So this is what I don't want to see here. So pretty much what I love to see in terms of like, is the market going to bottom? I love to see capitulatory put buying where like we've already broken down from all the support levels. People are pretty much like begging on their knees, and you get, put buyers essentially like buying up the lows and, buying puts when the VIX is at like a 37, that whole stuff. You can see we did get some put buyers coming in midday. You can see these SPY buyers for, looks like June, for February. There were a lot of people buying, longer term calls as well. We had these SPY March calls for March 31st. And this, if you take a look, which strike did they go for? Yeah, the 395 strikes for March. It's pretty crazy. You can see NVAX, a lot of orders for that name. I believe they had some sort of development on a vaccine today, so that makes sense. Just bear with me, my thing wants to give up on me. Okay, NVAX. Novavax. You can see super strong here, up 64%. See this one banned. Okay, this one looks kind of interesting. Pretty close to a breakout, and not really showing much weakness during this sell-off. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah, we have some orders for Fubo. Looks like people are trying to get that short squeeze going, trying to get it flowing here. And yeah, you can see up 6.02%, following along with that, squeeze theme. Let's see Big C. That's the one that I have on. Big C. Yeah, down 0.97%. Little correction after a pretty monster run there. And then I'm also going to pull up, let's take a look at our CNN Fear and Greed Index. Just because right now I'm more so like concerned with like overall market sentiment and whether we're just going to keep washing out or what. Wow, and you can see CNN Fear and Greed Index at a 35. We are 10 points away from extreme fear. And a couple, 1 week ago we were at a 60. So we were starting to approach extreme greed. And now here we are, completely turned around on this metric. Let's see if Stock Charts has our put to call ratio. I don't think they do yet. I think it comes out a little bit later. So I'd say if you're a long-term investor, it does help to buy stocks when the market is in a period of like extreme fear. It's if you're a long-term investor. If you're a trader, things might be a little bit different. Yeah, and this right now is at a 0.4. I want to see this thing jump. That was probably the red flag from yesterday that I really didn't, put much emphasis on. That even though we had a really bad day in the markets yesterday, nobody was really buying puts. So I would love to see a day of just like capitulatory put buying on this metric. And let's see also squeezemetrics.com. See if this is updated. This is for January 29th. Okay, and you can see the DIX ticked up a little bit. It's not too bad. Yeah, yesterday the DIX was awful. You can see pretty bad. Let's see the GEX, the gamma levels in the market. Take the DEX off. Oh my gosh. So the gamma levels are pretty low. Interesting. So I'll have to see how this progresses and just see what the river brings. This was actually the last trading day of the month. So I will be reporting my results for the investment competition. Pretty soon those results will be out. At one point this month, I was up like 48% in my championship account. Now I think I ended up maybe like up like 25%. Erased some of the gains. Still a good month for me. So we'll see what happens. We'll have to see what the river brings. As always, I hope you all have a great weekend. And I will see you all Monday.